on? We're going to try this again. We've had some technical issues. We got Brandon Maclin, drummer extraordinaire, on here. Let me send him the feed. How you guys doing out there today? Everybody watching later, hello. Hopefully this is going to work. If not, we will zoom this and follow afterwards. All right, here we go. Thanks for sticking there, guys. Stick in there. Some technical stuff. All those techno stuff going on. All right. Question fans. So Brandon's from Maryland. I don't know a lot about his past, but we will find out. We'll ask some questions. Hey, what's up? What's going on today here? Hopefully it's going to connect. I'm hoping. It's still choppy. It might be just the integrated connection today. Yeah, still cutting out. Okay. Tech stuff, you know? I have to zoom this. So anyways, you guys can see this later. I will do a Zoom version here. But any questions you want me to ask him? There he is right there. Let's try this one more time. If not, we're going to zoom it. Zoom. All right. We're going on. Love the horror movies.
Yo,
there he is. Is it gonna work?
When I signed on, your audio was still doing the Matrix. I was like, what's going on here? That's crazy.
It says your video has been frozen. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. How you feel, bro?
Good. How you been, man? It's been a little while.
It's been a little bit too long. It's been a little bit too long. I'm plugging up my device over here, so
sounds good.
We can, so we can have some power and some charge. What's up, everybody? Oh, hey from Turkey. That's crazy. Frank, how you doing, man? How's life been in the quarantine?
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, it's been all right. You're kind of sideways right now. If you want to flip your phone,
I got you. No worries. Pow.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. I mean, there's only everything is moved to online, you know. So,
Yeah.
I've had no gigs and that kind of stuff, and lessons and recording. It's all just online. Nobody over, you know. So I'm pretty lonely here.
You're not lonely, bro. You're fortunate in a new path. D Shiv, what's up, bro? See you. Man, yeah. I got some friends in here. Oh man, I'm nervous all of a sudden.
You do. I got a few people that know you.
Oh man, one too many. I got some killer drum homies in here. Frank, for you
yeah, notice that.
Man. He's one of the best there is. Oh, and my cousin's here. What's up, Lex? My cousin's here. Oh gosh, so many good people. Oh man, I'm nervous all of a sudden. Don't ask me any.
That's all right. I'll talk for you then for a second until I ask a question.
Nah, that's cool. Nah,
so are you in Maryland right now? Let's start there.
Yeah, man. I'm in Maryland. I've been here since March. We haven't. Kind of life is shut down for. Just as it shut down for you, it shut down for all of us. In a way. Yeah. So we're all kind of like just sitting back and just kind of waiting for life to get a little more clearer. You know what I'm saying? With what we do.
Are you near the coast, or are you in?
Nah, man. I'm in what is called PG County. That's where I live. So not quite the coast, but not far from the coast either.
Okay.
Not quite the coast, but not far from the coast either. So it gets pretty humid here because we're close enough, but it takes a little bit of a drive if I want to get close to the beach or to the water. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's kind of cool to hear. It's kind
I
of
know
cool to
you
hear.
keep busy. You
Absolutely. I
keep busy.
mean,
It looks
that's
like so you're involved with everyone knows you're drummer of Daughtry here, rock and
okay.
roll. That's how
Right.
we met. I actually met you through Brian. And
Mm-hmm.
he's like,
Brian
"Here is
Craddock.
my new drummer." And I was like, "Oh man, what's going on?"
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Good dude, you know.
Brian Craddock is my guy. He actually, when I first joined Daughtry, Brian lived like pretty close to me in Virginia, and so we just had a bunch of cool like uh, mirroring stories. And hey, man, you ever been here? Like, oh yeah, man, I've been there. It's like, oh man, I'm right up the street. And kind of funny. His family is super cool with my godmom, and so because my godmother's family is from Virginia, where his family's from. So it's kind of like a full circle thing how it all kind of came about.
That's cool.
It's awesome.
I know he loves Virginia. He loves that
Yes.
area. I was down there. I
Yes.
went to a studio the year before he sold it. It was a nice studio.
Cat room. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
official
And
one.
he's
That was good.
yeah. And he's almost back up and running, like full throttle, in Nashville
Oh, okay.
now. So, he's killing it. He actually, shameless plug, I guess. He actually mixed the live performance that we did for Fandom, of the new song World on
Oh,
Fire.
nice.
Brian mixed that. So huge shout out to Brian Craddock and all of his super cool production skills.
I
he's
know.
he's the
I
man.
was surprised because I don't know if I ever told you, but the way I met Chris and them was through like a VIP acoustic thing.
Okay.
It was only for like 65 people, and I brought my CD over because the CD I had worked with Day of Fire, and Chris knew Josh Brown really well. So I
Of
was like, I'm
course.
gonna give him the CD. I think he'd think it'd be a cool story. But it was Brian that said I actually have a studio and I mix and I record and stuff, and I was like, oh, all right, that'd be cool. I was like, all right, so that's where all this started, and then I've had almost half your group on my record so far.
Yes, you
It's cool.
have. Yeah, man. Man, I'm grateful to have been a part of your album that just dropped, and I think it's super cool that you asked me to be a part. And I was actually listening to it today, and it's really good, man. It's really cool. Um, and like you took a chance with me, and like my kind of my beginnings of getting studio work done and kind of getting it hammered in and getting the tones
Yeah.
locked in and things. So I definitely appreciate you being patient with me, and I'm hoping you love the tones and things. Hopefully it was like pretty easy to mix. It felt good though.
Yeah, I could tell. I think I'm trying to remember we were talking, you were still messing studio stuff and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I would like to
Yeah.
hear what it sounds like now because I'm sure you probably have it really dialed in.
Yeah. Yeah. It's dialed in super now. um
You're
a friend
talking,
of
but I can't hear audio right now.
You can't hear me?
Let's see. Yeah, my audio's up.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Hold on. Can you hear me now? Let's see.
Can anybody else hear his sound? I can't.
Yeah, can y'all hear me? Hopefully you
What a
can.
day so far.
Oh, they said that they can hear me.
Yeah, I just see you talking. Crap. This usually works perfect, by the way. It usually works perfect. I've
I
had
mean,
problems
I
like
don't know what's
once
happening.
before, and I had to do a Zoom
Now,
thing. But
I should probably text.
Sherry
Hold on.
can. I can't hear anything. Yeah,
I hear you perfectly.
you can hear you
I wish
both.
I,
Uh, I can't hear a single thing. Hmm. Could have you try and maybe back out and rejoining, or like I said, worst case, I can hook up the Zoom stuff quick. We could do it official. You can hear me? It'd be a really weird interview if I asked the question I couldn't hear you. We could just call this the intro. All right, let's try this again, folks. Yeah, well, I'm on home Wi-Fi. I mean, it should work, but I've never had the audio actually bail out, which is really weird. All right, let's try this. It's still rolling. We got a little bit of a story going on. I got some questions from the fans I got to ask too here.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I still got no audio. I don't know what's going on. How about this is if you want to talk to your fans now, let's do that, and then we'll just pre-record it. So any questions you have, feel free to ask him, and
Yeah,
we'll do this for real in a minute. Oh wait a minute, I can hear you again.
Incredible.
It's still laggy though. Whatever you want to do, man, I can hook it up. I can hook it up quick.
Everyone is saying that they can hear me. Hey, Frank, let's see.
I think I got you now, but so they were wondering, how did you join Daughtry? That was one of the questions. Did you was it through Brian, or they contact you about it or something, or?
Okay, it's actually a long story. I'm gonna tell as short as I can. Can you hear me, Frank? Nope. Oh, can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you a little bit. Yeah, it's skipping, but I can hear.
Okay. So how it happened was, a friend of mine was playing drums for Daughtry. His name is Jamal, and Jamal, at the time, he had started playing with them full time, and Jamal had an unfortunate death in his family with his grandma. And so they were out on tour at the time, and he called me in to come play for Daughtry as a fill-in.
Okay.
And so it was a pretty interesting situation because I flew in. He called me like on a Tuesday. I flew in on Saturday. The first show was Sunday, like something like that. It was crazy. And so we had, yeah. And so no, there were no rehearsals or anything. I just had like a playback from the show, and I had to just walk up and play it down. And so thankfully everything went smooth. Everything went very well. And I went home. That was the end of it. And so after that, Daughtry just started calling me and asking me to do some other things with them. And once we were getting into we were getting into a pretty steady rhythm of working and playing together. Like we were doing Thanksgiving parade, and we did something in Vegas at the time. And just a whole bunch of things that were just
Yeah, I've seen some of that. I remember that.
Yeah. They asked me, "Hey man, would you like to stay around a little more often?" And I was like, "Sure." Like, why not? That'll be a whole lot of fun. And there's the history of it, and we've been locked in ever since. We've been locked in ever since. So
I personally think you're the best drummer that he's had yet, because I can tell you why. Because I don't know your background as much, but I can hear your background, and you add because when I seen you live, I was like, some of the fills, I go, okay, this is before we worked together. I go, this guy could do metal. He could do, the hard rock stuff. And I heard it, like some of the fills you did to some of the songs, especially because it wasn't really one of the heavier sets. I was like, okay, I can hear that, but then I can hear the groove from gospel and I want to say jazz, but
Yeah,
that type of blues funky style.
yeah. And honestly, that's my
Am I
background.
right?
That is it. That's my background. My background is primarily church. My dad is actually
Yep.
a pastor, preacher, so that's like where a lot of my background comes from. Like I spend a lot of time in church and playing. And the good thing about playing in
Yeah.
church is that we play all the styles, all the genres. Now, whether we play them right or not, that's another question. Whether it's
Yeah.
authentic or not,
Yeah.
that's another question. But we are playing like a whole lot of those genres and things at church. So it kind of opened up my eyes to kind of hearing different styles like Latin and jazz and R&B and pop, and we have the CCM side of like gospel music, and which is more like rock driven. So there's a little bit of there's a little bit of space of learning in there. And then I went to Berklee College of Music, and that's where like my brain kind of like it grew immensely, where I was playing.
Get a little harder going there, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I did gigs with like Layla Hathaway and Miss Betty Wright, and the Eagles were there while I was there, and John J.R. Robinson was there. And so, we're playing Stevie Wonder tunes, and we're playing Bonnie Raitt tunes, and we're playing Dolly Parton tunes. You know what I'm saying? It's like the list goes on and on. I remember playing just so many like different songs I never heard before in my life, and being able to like to really sit down with the charts and kind of get it, and then having teachers there who authentically knew the songs, and they were like, yo, this feel goes with this, or this style goes with this. Like there's a marriage between the two. James Ash, what's up, bro? It's like a marriage between the two of what you play and how you play it. And so I learned that at I really just learned that at Berklee. So it was that's my background. Like just a lot of time spent.
So do you adjust your style depending on obviously the style of the song? Like you can just easily kind of critique in your mind of I'm not gonna do because I drum too, but I don't know the lingo. I'm not as far, but I know the difference between like some things are no, in certain styles, and other things are like, yeah, that's okay.
Right. So yes, like the absolute answer is yes. Like there are rules to how you play certain genres. And in rock there are rules, in pop there are rules, in gospel there are rules, in R&B there are rules, and I would say pretty much in jazz the one rule is there is no rules. You know what I'm saying? And so there are rules to it. So there is a level of restraint and discipline that's absolutely needed, like when you're playing any genre. And gospel is more like a free flow, like whatever you feeling in the moment, play that. It's not quite the same with Daughtry. You know what I'm saying? It's actually it's not the same at all with Daughtry. Whereas
You play to a
songs
click? I was gonna ask you that. You guys have a click?
Oh yeah. Every song is clicked out. Every song has a click. Every song has programming.
Do you think it makes it easier?
It does make it easier. It gives everyone a timing reference.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we have so many fans who have connections with our songs. So like fans like really pull to like September and or Home. So they really want to hear, or they want to have that nostalgic experience of when they first heard those songs. So
so you want it the same tempo. You don't want to play it too fast. You don't want to play it too slow.
Yeah, and they don't want me to ruin Chris's vocal performance, or they don't want me to ruin Steely's guitar solo. Like I can't ruin that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's how they digested the song. That's how they want to hear the song. So it's super important that I know those spaces and that I'm not in the way. It's like cars driving on the highway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like making a record a little bit. Everybody has their own space and a lot of things, and you just kind of transfer that live and be like, I'm not gonna overdo certain things, and because when you're playing, I've gone off the rails sometimes playing guitar, and it's like because you get caught up in the moment, and you're like, I'm just gonna add this, I'm gonna add this, and then you listen back and you go, that didn't sound good, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
it's funny,
Absolutely.
I played to a click the past maybe 5 years, or my drummer has, but see, I don't use it. I still use the monitors. So I
Mhm.
figure I'm playing actually free form, but he's playing to a click, and I know that he's always gonna hold, the parts and the connections, and it's up to me to, so it gives me a little leeway
For
anyways.
sure. For sure. For sure. And I think that um I think that the drummer should have the click primarily in his ears, and everyone else should be more dependent on the drummer than the click. You know what I'm saying? And so as
Exactly,
a
yeah.
drummer,
Yeah.
our responsibility is to bring a relaxed feeling to the rest of the band who has to play. Um,
Yeah,
somebody has,
yeah, it makes it easier.
yeah, for
Drummer
sure.
makes the band, dude. I've had, I tell you, you get a bad drummer or one that just doesn't get the beats and it's awful. You just can't
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
It's
It, it,
horrible.
it goes it goes down, 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 down fast. It goes
I
down
seen
fast.
I seen on here Dirtbag Clothing. Come on, quick. Hello guys, what's going on?
Nice,
Any
nice.
fans out there, feel free to ask Brian or Brandon some questions here. Brian, Brian and Brandon. We'll
Yeah,
get you
yeah.
guys both on here someday.
Yes, yes. That'd be a lot of fun. That'd be a lot of fun. I know I saw a question. Someone asked me, "Have I heard of Baby Boy Drummer?" Absolutely. He's super cool, and he's super talented, and I love watching his videos because I want to have a son that plays drums just like him. Like he's incredible. Rob, what's up, bro? Rob, what's up, bro?
So
Uh,
what was the group that got you into drums to begin with?
Whew. It wasn't really a groove, man. It was honestly like it was honestly like going to church. Like that was the infatuation, and like it was incredible just to see. Um, and I'm doing, this is crazy that you're asking me that because I'm doing like a 10 most influential drummers in my life, and one of the guys who I'm
Yep.
saving for last is his name is Chris Biscuit Bynum, and he was the guy when I would go to church, and this is like terrible, but I would go to church. I wouldn't even listen to like the sermon or the prayers or the scripture or nothing like that. I would just be locked into the drummer like this, like waiting for the next song to play, and I would mimic everything that I saw him do. And so when him taking me
Yeah.
in as like a student of his, it really broadened my horizons with being a drummer, and it just turned into a thing. Like I really fell in love with it. I really fell in love with it.
So you learn a lot by watching and then listening others playing and then applying that to your own style.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I can relate there. I
Absolutely.
you ever watch some people that you like drum and all of a sudden you go back home, you get on the drum set and you're doing something that they did live and you go, how did I just do that? I
Exactly.
think you really, it's truth. You can learn with your ears and stuff, you know?
Yeah. 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 Yeah, for sure. It's like sometimes like we listen to playback of like shows that we've had, and we're all just in amazement with like, how did we do that? Like how did we get there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like so
You
sometimes we
guys are
have
tight.
shows. Yeah, I mean, and like we are very well rehearsed, but there are some moments where there's some shows where we fall into moments where just magic happens. Like, for example, like Purple Rain is always like a magical moment whenever we play it, or In the Air Tonight is super magical. Right before we stopped for COVID, we were getting into playing Boys of the Summer, and it was just like a woo, like something's happening here. Like it was just
It's
magical.
the feeling
Um,
moment.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was something magical was really happening. So I think that whenever our first show opens back up to like public, I would advise everybody to get that ticket, because there's going to be a love for being back on the stage that's going to happen that time we play.
There's going to be like some renewed energy.
Absolutely.
It's going to be like, I don't know, like this is one of the most exciting things you've seen in 20 years, you know?
Absolutely.
Even if it's the band down the road or something, it's because like I have kind of lost that feeling a little bit, you know? We're all just kind of dangling here.
Yeah. And either, like jokingly, I said to the guys, like once when we were talking, I was like, either it's going to go really good or it's going to go really bad. Either way, we're going to have a good time going whichever way we go. Because this is going to be fun to be back on stage with, you know, family, or like brothers, that people who you've like developed as a family, because on the road, we are each other's family. We are our brother's keeper. Like that's just what it is.
Yeah, you got to rely on each other.
Yeah. I saw a question on here. Wow, a bunch of questions all of a sudden. What's my favorite song to play in church? I don't know. When I was younger, my favorite song was this song called Rain on Us by John P. Key, because it gave the drummer a solo in the middle of the song. And it was like super fun. Yeah. Like, it's like rain on us, and it's like this like 8 bars of
just stops.
And it's like happens over and over and over and over and over again. That was super fun.
You do that in your shows too, I noticed.
Yeah, that's how I learned to do it. Rain on Us came around.
Okay.
I just think about that moment when I was a kid, and I'm like, Rain on Us. Kennard, what's up, bro? I see you. I see Kennard here. And then there's another question. What's your advice for someone who plays drums but feels like it's too late to fully pursue their music career? I'm 33 with 3 kids. It's never too late, man. It's never too late to pursue your music career. If you're passionate about it, if it's something that you absolutely love to do, I suggest that you do it. Now, as far as having 3 kids, like definitely remember what your responsibilities are and prioritize them that way. But I believe that if it's something that's in your heart to do, you should absolutely go after it. And sometimes going after it means becoming like a student of the craft and learning how to play, a certain genre, a certain style, like authentically. Being married to the click, things like that are super duper important if you're playing drums. But, go after it, whether it's learning or, you have gigs, people are calling and you can't, you aren't saying yes because you have a fear or something. Nah, don't let that stop you. Go after it. Do it. Absolutely do it.
Yeah, you gotta it's a little bit outside your comfort level for some people, and sometimes you have to just kind of embrace that, and it actually adds to the energy sometimes playing live. Sometimes you are nervous. I mean, I don't know if you still get nervous, but sometimes you're at a place where you don't know, or you look at the audience and you're like, I don't know tonight, or something like that, and you get a little, and then it adds to it. You get up there and you're just hammering it.
Yeah, bro. Whenever we do TV, there's always that nervousness that just creeps on your back.
Yeah, there's pressure.
Every time we do TV, because there's millions of people watching. And so your one mess up can just ruin everything. It's like everyone kind of walks on pins and needles when we do TV. It's everybody. Whether it's like, oh, I didn't sleep at all last night, I was nervous, or I listened to the song all night long to make sure I didn't mess up, something like that. There's all sorts of, different nervousness. But other than that, no, we're pretty accustomed to like how these things get locked in and being sure of the songs. Yeah.
You get in a flow. I seen your guys' video you did digitally, like on your own. Everybody was in their own square, like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
I like that. That was good.
Oh man, it was a lot
Everybody
of fun.
tune in right now. Brandon's from Maryland. You still in Maryland?
Yep.
Just to clarify. Yep. And he's got his own. Everybody needs drums, man. He's got his own studio set up. We've done a song together. I plan on hitting you up for another one here once my my brain starts to get going. And you know,
let's do it.
the biggest thing everyone's like, you know, there's because I asked people for questions before too, and it was everything is Daughtry, and I go, well, I want to know his background. You know what I mean? And so we've went over that a lot, but as far as here's the thing. So here's something that fans would never ask you. So drum stuff. Let's move on to drum stuff. What was your first kit you started to, and what do you use now?
My very first kit was a precision drum set. And
really? Okay.
Yeah, my godfather, we call my Uncle Tyrone our godfather, because he was him and my parents, his family and my parents grew up together all the time. But he was a drummer, and he got me a precision drum set, and half of that kit is gone somewhere. I have no clue where it is. But I still have the snare to this day, and I still play it.
Really?
Yes.
Nice.
And it sounds great to me. It might sound like trash to everybody else. My ears may be overtaken by my heart, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I absolutely love to just play that snare, and that snare's been awesome. It has like a lot of sentimental value to it, but you know, I love to play it. I absolutely love to play it.
Yeah, it's kind of a custom sound that you like and you go to. You know, it's a warm kind of, you know, feeling. I know what you mean. I've got a guitar that I've owned since 15 or so, and I kind of thought about selling it because it's worth more now. But I'm like, I don't know. I've never played a guitar that plays the fastest as that one. It's an Explorer, so it's tilted down. It's got a floating bridge, so the thing is as fast as the wind. But I'm just like, I don't know. And my love for Metallica is kind of like way up there, you know.
See. Yeah, and so that's where I started. What I play now is the DW. I think DW are the best drums in the market by far. Just the ingenuity and what they do to create different to create different drum tones and combinations with wood and so forth and so on is just second to none, and they are the best. They absolutely are the best.
Do you use do you like wood or brass snares, or what do you use for snare as far as like that?
Okay, so with Daughtry, I'm playing an aluminum snare most times.
Okay.
I'm famous for getting bored on the road, and so when we did our I think it was Cage the Rattle tour. When we were on the Cage the Rattle tour, I changed snares like 5 times that tour. And so it started with the aluminum snare. Then I moved to a maple mahogany top edge. So it's like a wood, and it's maple mahogany wood, and then the top is a brass. And then I moved to a vintage steel snare for like 3 weeks.
Okay.
Then I started playing a copper snare for like 2 months. Yeah, it was crazy. Thank God that all my drum techs didn't hate me, but they were probably sick of me because I was like, oh, let's just switch it up. Let's play something different tonight or tomorrow. Oh, then I started playing.
Because you got to re-EQ all that, you know. It's a little different.
Yeah. It changes the tone and different things. Then I played a brass and nickel mix. So I do have a huge love for steel drums, but
yeah, they're cool.
I do have a couple of wood snares that I own that I absolutely just love to play and will never ever give up. Ever, absolutely.
Do you play bongos or congas or anything like that too?
Well, I'm from DC, so go-go is the uh is the music sound of my city, and it's very like prevalent with with go-gos with congos and bongos and percussion instruments. So I do play them. I'm not a professional at it. I'm not great at it, but I can make some sound come out of it and be in a groove that makes it sound, pretty cool and a lot of fun.
That's actually one of my favorites to do with acoustic. I use Godsmack as example. You know, like their acoustic sets where it's real heavy, but they're using that kind of stuff. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
You should have Chris go up and play some for a tune. I don't think you guys have any bongo stuff on the records.
Well, there actually is a lot of it. Especially on Cage Rattle. Between Cage Rattle and Cage Rattle, there's a lot of percussion and bongos and congos and things like that. And one of my favorite Daughtry songs that we were like on the verge of bringing back right before COVID hit, Long Live Rock and Roll has some some really cool hidden percussive moments in there that will like kind of shock you, if you will. Definitely Backbone has a lot of it in there too. So Back in Time does too. Like it's just a lot. Like a lot of our songs have a lot of percussive kind of things happening in there.
Yeah, a lot of it's layered in the record too.
It's layered in there.
Yeah.
Layered heavy.
Gotta layer everything.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the way to do it. Do you recording wise? Let's talk about recording for a second. Do you have a certain snare you use for the band for recording, or do you and also like with our song that we did, I added snares on top of your snare just because that's kind of my style. But I don't know if you guys do that sort of similar thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It just depends on the song because every song is different. Like normally when we go to a studio to record, there's a room full of drums. It's like when we did Cage the Rattle. I don't know why I keep talking about that record, but that's the one that we just did in the studio together. Or the last one we did in the studio together. Like there was like a whole drum room, and I mean we used. There was this different things. I used a 16 by 22 leady kick drum, and then on some of the stuff I used a Brady snare. A little bit of the other things I used, DW stuff, and then there was this one Tama Star Classic 18-inch floor tom.
Those are
it was perfect. Like it was just fitting almost every song that we played one of the days that we were there. So there's not one snare that is like all the time gets the call, but I will say that when I'm recording, a Black Beauty is always very near me. The Black Beauty is always close, and that's how it goes with me. That Ludwig snare is close. It's always close. It's always close because something about that snare.
That's your go-to. You're like, all else fails, let's get that thing out there, ready to rock.
Yep, absolutely.
I just wanted to come in quick with I call her something Daughtry because she's got a lot of letters and then it says Daughtry, but she says her name's Alice. She's one of your mega fans. It's her birthday today, so happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Alice. I didn't see that. I'm so sorry, but happy birthday. Oh, awesome. Oh, man.
You're going to have to play happy birthday on your drum set for her somehow.
Happy birthday. I'm sorry I missed that. Happy birthday. That's kind of awesome. That's pretty awesome. I had a COVID birthday, so I understand how it feels. My birthday was in March. And
okay.
me and my wife were just at home. Like that was it. It was. I woke up and it was like, "What are you going to do today?" I was like, "Nothing. Sit at home and stay safe." Sandy, your birthday's tomorrow. Oh
Make
man.
your own cake, right? And all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe order ice cream out, but
Yeah. Yeah. My wife and I, we had wine and just toast to the good life, and that was about it. Like it was awesome. It was awesome. Happy birthday, Alice. Happy birthday, Sandy. I miss you guys, man. Hopefully we'll see you. Hopefully you see y'all soon. Hopefully see y'all soon.
hopefully. I'm telling everybody, like, 2021, skip this year. Hopefully everything will be back next year. But the big
Dog, I
test,
see.
talking
Yeah.
some about that stuff, is when the kids go back to school. Kids are going to college now. That's a real determination of if it's gonna spread more, or I know it's worse in the South now. We actually have it better up here in the North.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
it's switched, because I wanted to go down and do a tour down to Tennessee back up, just not like a music tour, but looking at houses and looking at just places maybe I could move to down there,
Mm-hmm.
because it seems like that music is there's more happening down there. It's a little more acceptive. There's more, because I teach lessons too. There's more lessons. Definitely more studio work. I don't like New York City. I don't like Boston as much. So I'm not gonna live near there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm kind of
Um. Yeah. I went to college in Boston. I actually love the city of Boston. I love it. Whenever we
yeah
go to um whenever we have shows in Boston, you will see me somewhere in the city. I will be in the city somewhere hanging out. So
yeah
that's just how it is for me. But no, man, I get it. I agree with you. 2021 will probably be when, but I think it's still going to be quite different with how we know it to be now. I'm not sure if we're still going to have meet and greets and coming out and hugging the fans and different things like that. Different things like that just may be off limits so that we can stay safe.
yeah. That's the
Um,
hard part.
yeah, yeah. So it'll probably be much more like virtual things that we could do, or and there's plenty of things that are kind of being tested. The beta tests are happening now with, just the best way to kind of do things, and still.
Pre-sign probably a lot of the merch too, so that way you're not
Yeah,
you're not out there signing it, and
yeah,
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
it would be kind of cool, like, if you had a fan club package and say there was like 20 people that were the super fans of the night, kind of do either a live video feed or something for all of them. They're
yeah.
they're there with a TV or something, and then you're on the other side
Right.
somewhere. That would kind of be cool. At least you could talk.
Yeah, yeah, and probably this is my guess. I'm not. Nothing has been said, so no one hold this. This is just my opinion. Probably going to go to bigger venues and have to just do smaller crowds in the bigger venues and have everyone spaced out. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just so that there's some type of safety precaution, because what you absolutely don't want to happen is, you get in touch with someone who may not even know that they have it, and then you contract it from someone and you don't even know where you got it from. And then,
Yeah.
there's
Somebody jumping on
yeah,
stage, or there's always that kind of thing too.
absolutely. Absolutely. And you just really don't want that to be the case for like any band member to, God forbid, like pass away, or have a loved one pass away because they contracted the virus from someone who came to a show. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
those are the real precautions. It's not that we don't miss you all. It's not that we can't. It's just that we just don't want to be susceptible to anyone just contracting the virus because of us. Yeah.
What do you think? Because I'm kind of, I mean, I talk about it with my parents, but I'm battling it, in between of, is it worth it to play still because of that stuff? Even when
Mm.
it's like you said, everything opens up and it's baby steps.
Yeah.
Is it really worth it? Or like you say, you got a touring opportunity, like say I opened up for somebody. Is it really worth it to do that tour? And like you said, you open yourself up to all that. Yeah, I
Absolutely.
don't I don't not want to do music. I mean, I wanna there was an opportunity, I definitely would open up. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. It's a super
But you
tough
can't give up what you
thing to
like.
have. Yeah, yeah. It's like I said, it's super tough to be in the middle of it because you want to, go out in the world and do something that you love and bring joy to other people. Like that's something that we all want to do. But then on the flip side,
Yeah.
it's like, at what cost is that, worth your life or the life of someone who miss, or someone who you love, someone who you're close to. And at that point for me, it's not worth it.
Yeah. It's tough because then like even I can't imagine with your band, you guys will have dates and stuff like that, and that'll be hard to deal
Mm-hmm.
with. But I feel like with you guys, since you're, a bigger national huge band, that unlike the smaller bands, like the way we get exposed is we have to go out and talk to the people. We actually have to try to, like face to face sell something. And it's like without that,
Yeah.
and I say I just played in Leave, they'd be, I don't know, it'd be way less, I want to say, exposure, sort of. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for
Because
sure.
I see it with some of your openers and stuff. They're right out there talking to
Yeah.
fans. You guys come right out afterwards, and
Yeah.
it's sometimes that's what makes the somebody wanting to do a fan club or buy another T-shirt and then say, I want him to sign this right now. That sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's kind of
yeah,
like the
yeah,
old
man.
days. Now it's
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, yeah. Which is weird because we were changing. To me, it felt like the paradigm had shifted from uh, being like that mega superstar that was like ambiguous. Like you really didn't know much about them. You just loved to see them on stage and perform, and that was all you saw of them. And to now, like
The mystery.
yeah, yeah, it was like a mysterious like celebrity. Into what we were doing the past 3 years, like, all right, after every show, we're going to attack the fans. Like, we're going to go out there, we're going to give them hugs and take pictures and tell them thank you for coming to the show. Like, we were going to be there, we're going to be close to them. And social media kind of pushed that on us as well, which I mean, we're grateful for it because I mean, I can't tell you like how cool it is to meet fans like Dawn or Melissa or Tracy, or you know what I'm saying? Like, the list goes on, and those people, they give us like Christmas gifts and birthday gifts, and when you're out on the
Yeah.
road, like those are the things that make it worthwhile for you. You know what I'm saying? Like when you can just
Yeah.
meet people who care about you the same way that your family at home, cares about you. You know what I'm saying? Like Christmas gifts
Yep.
and T-shirts and I saw this thing at the museum, like Rock and Roll Museum, and I thought about you, so I got it for you. You know what I'm saying? Or we went to
Yeah.
where did we go? I think it was like Minnesota or somewhere, and we all wanted to go see the Prince Museum. And one of the fans were like, "You let me know if you want to go. I know people who work there. I'll get you in there, no problem." It's like those things like that just kind of goes a long way. Oh
The
yeah,
cool
Alice with
hookups.
vinyls. Yeah, Alice. I mean, so many vinyls that we all have. That's just like just classic things. So it's for us, like being that close with the fans again really 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 matters to us, and we just want to make sure that they feel our appreciation for how much they support us.
They'll think about that to the end of the days too, because you
Yeah.
think about it, like say somebody owns a movie theater and you're like, dude, I can fit you guys in for the last showing. It's just gonna be you guys.
Yes.
That the
Yeah.
whole staff there, it would make history for them. Because
Right.
I've worked at two places where that's happened, where somebody went to a roller skating rink and it was somewhere else, and we all still remember that. We all still, big thing never goes away. And
Yeah. Yeah.
or like going to lunch with somebody or something like that.
Yeah, and all those things have happened for us. Like we've wanted to do something, and we knew it was going to be crazy. I think it was we were in Atlanta one night, and LVO, who's a huge golfing fan, but there was a top golf right up the street, and we knew that we were only going to be able to get there if we could like get security to kind of rush us out of the let out. And so the security guys made it happen. It was me, JP. I want to say Brian and me, JP, Brian, and LVO. We went to Top Golf, and it was just a blast to be able to be there and hang out and, you know, do something that we really wanted to do, like on the backs of someone that's just really taking care of us and who really cared about us. So, man, we really appreciate, you know, all the fans and all the supporters of Daughtry, because, man, if it wasn't for you all, we'd been home a long time ago in a pandemic. We'd have been home.
Double meaning for that song.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you guys got I knew it. You got the #1 rock songs, Back to Rock, in iTunes.
Yeah, man. We are back rocking it in World on Fire.
I knew that. I heard the distortion and right away, and I go, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe I rubbed off. I've been telling Brian for 4 years. I go, I think you guys could go a little bit heavier. I go, it would sound amazing. I told him I'm waiting for the hard rock Daughtry record, because it'd be epic. I mean, you put like, I love Scott Stapp and all those guys, but you put them to shame.
Yeah.
You know,
World on Fire is our first step back into, you know, rocking it. And this has been a conversation. It's been a thing that's been in the works for a while. So we're back at it. We're super excited.
It's a melt, though. You got both styles in there, though.
Yeah, of course. You know, because Chris and our producers, you know, Scott and Marty, they've allowed us to really be ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, Brandon, bring your gospel influence, and JP, bring your heavy metal, suicidal tendency influence, and LVO, bring your singer songwriter piano influence, and we're gonna mesh this together into a song. And so, like, the world is really loving World on Fire. It's a timely song. It's not anything that we just wrote. We've been working on this for a while. Like before the pandemic, before we even knew, like last year, we were already working on this and talking about it. So it's not anything that kind of happened like, oh, let's do a song now. It's like now we are, you know, creating music that is perfect for right now, and the fans are loving it, and we're loving it. We're excited. And as I said, whenever this first show, Adam, what's up, bro? Whenever this first show comes back, it's going to be heavy. And I think like the last couple of shows that we were doing, we were getting back into heavy, like we were like first record, like at the top of the show, like
oh really,
super duper heavy.
So that's the one I want to go see.
Yeah, it was
Cool.
happening. It was happening, and some of the fans that were there were like, "Oh my God, wait a minute! Like this can't be happening. Like this is for real." And we were like, "Yeah, we're going back to it. Like we're going back to it." So it's been a lot of fun. Yeah.
Before we got a few minutes here before we go, Brenda from Florida. I don't know if I should ask this, but she wants to know about the Masked Singer. If you knew it was him on the show. Or...
Okay, so here's the deal. None of us knew. All we knew is that, and I hope I'm not getting in trouble by saying this. All we knew is that we started doing shows and Chris wasn't around as much, and we were like, "Man, where's Chris at?" Like he's like, "Oh man, you know, he's gone. He had to do some radio stuff or whatever." And so we're like, "Oh, okay, cool. Like, you know, we get it. No worries." So we're just kind of hanging out, and it just happened to be that a couple of our friends were working on the Masked Singer at the time. So we were just watching it just for support of our friends. And then all of a sudden, you know, a bunch of Daughtry fans just started saying, "That's Chris. That's Chris. Oh my God, that's Chris. That's Chris." And so we're like, "What are they talking about? Chris has been out with us. There's no way he's doing that stuff." Ash, what's up, sis?
But you didn't know either. Like listening to that guy's Chris's performance, you had no idea it was his voice.
We were unsure. It wasn't until
that's funny.
It wasn't until he did one song. I can't remember which one it was. When we all, like the whole band, we were like, "That's him." It was like, we know, like that's absolutely positive. And Chris never said anything to us, like never said, like it's honestly genius how they like work this whole thing out, that the people who are around the different contestants, like you really don't have a clue. You really don't have a clue.
Yeah.
And I remember we were at a couple meet and greets, and some of the fans were like, "Oh, I love you on a Masked Singer," and Chris was like, "I have no idea what you're talking about. I have never done a Masked Singer. You were on there last night." And he's like, "How was I on there last night? We were here last night. There's no way." And it's literally like a well-oiled machine. And literally, we didn't know. Like the band had no clue. The band had no clue.
I thought he was a good Daughtry tribute, singer and slash. He sounded like somebody else too for some reason. I don't know if he did that on purpose. I mean, props to him.
Yeah, he did. He did. And so just like I said, especially after the Sia song, it was just like once he did a live, we were like, that's him. That's absolutely positively him.
That's cool.
But he didn't say anything. Like it was a well-oiled machine that we didn't even know until it was over. And I think like the show where he revealed himself, he texted us. It was like, "Sorry guys, I've been lying to you all for like weeks and months. I apologize." And we were all like, "Oh, we knew it was you the whole time." And he was like, it was crazy. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And
that's funny.
Funny thing is, like, some of my friends were still working on it. I've been able to do some things with them as well. As we all are working on a Masked Singer. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been cool. And we had no clue. We had no clue at first, and then we figured it out that it was him. Yeah. It was awesome.
Well, I appreciate you coming on here chatting today. That's
Man, Frank,
I appreciate it. You taking the time out. I'll be sharing this all over, and I tell everybody, it's with these, it's sometimes it's that fan too that watches it 5 months down the road that all of a sudden becomes super aware, and all of a sudden it grows from there, So I appreciate all you guys tuning in, and it's cool. Thanks for coming back at all these too.
Yeah. I see some super cool people. 22 Glove, man, I appreciate it. JD McIver, I appreciate it, man. If you guys hit me up on Instagram, like if you have questions or whatever you want to talk, hit me up. I'm kind of terrible with the
tag Brandon in the comments. This will be live pretty soon after the broadcast.
Yeah.
Download the song World on Fire.
Yeah.
We'll go to how about we'll go to instead of 1, we'll go to like little past there. We'll go to like 0.5.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it. DJ, what's up? DJ, what's up? Yeah, man. So I'm a little terrible with the timeliness, but just be persistent. If I'm not answering, just be persistent, and I promise, I'll be there to reach out and talk. Frank, congratulations to you on your EP again, man. I'm looking forward to working with you again.
Thanks, man.
And let's do this soon. It'll be a lot of fun.
Sounds good. Yeah, anytime you got something new or something, we can do whatever. If it's 20 minutes, half an hour, that'd be cool. Yeah. And I'll let you know when I get a good chunk of songs or something like that. I'll let you know. It's funny. I interviewed Robin, the previous drummer of Daughtry.
Robin Diaz.
And
absolutely.
He offered to do a track, so I got to work with him on this new track, and I'll send you that when it's done. It's pretty upbeat rock and roll compared to some of the other stuff.
Robin knows his rock and roll, so I already know. Like I went back and studied some of the old Daughtry clips with him playing like "Crawling Back to You" and I can go down a list of songs that he played with them.
Renegade. He told me how he did Renegade. I was like, yeah,
yeah, man. And that song takes a lot of energy. You know what I'm saying? So. And like literally, as like I said, our last few shows, we were getting back to like that rock sound. Like we were getting back to being super heavy, and we were heavy. Like we were heavy coming out the gate, like the first couple of songs. And I went back and I had to study Robin. And so, and big shout out to Robin Diaz, amazing player. He's playing like that huge pork pie kid. It was awesome, man. It was awesome. It was awesome.
I remember when I seen Daughtry on TV the first time. I don't know the first drummer. I can't remember his name, but I remember he played so simple, sort of, but he hit so damn hard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and but I don't know who he is. I mean, respect to him, but he wasn't my favorite out of the group. But
I understand.
I can't remember who he was. It was like one of the first ones or something.
Joey. It has to be Joey, because Joey was like one of the first ones, and Joey's like incredible singer. And I actually met Joey at a show, and I gave him a big hug because what a lot of people don't know is, part of that original Daughtry sound, Joey was a part of like creating like what is there. Like Joey, much respect to Joe, and much respect to Joey and Robin. Much respect to both of them, because they laid a huge foundation. Like what we're doing now, we're just continuing what was already laid. You know what I'm saying? So no one can continue a road that hasn't been paved at the start first. You know what I'm saying? And so
I mean, I think that goes out to like any of the bands out there. I mean, if you listen to this, it's hard to know your sound, but if you can know your sound from the beginning, even the first two records, you have a leg to stand on to go, like you said, the road. Where do you go? Where can I navigate? I've struggled with that for a couple of years too, but it's once you find it, you're glued.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yep. Oh yeah, see, all the Daughtry fans are saying it. Yep, it's Joey Barnes.
Yep.
Joey.
He hits harder than hell. I remember he was on there just straight smacking.
Yeah, man. They have stories of like Joey playing the drums and like the sticks hitting Chris in the back, like when they're breaking and different things like that. And, it's pretty hilarious, honestly. Like just when I hear them tell the stories, but it's actually like awesome, just to hear them like reminisce on how they've gotten to where they are now. It's like such a journey, and so I'm looking forward to being on the journey until the wheels fall off. Like really, 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 really locked in. So it's amazing.
Yeah, you gotta enjoy all of it, man. The way it goes. Have a little chat with Chris. Talk about Day of Fire with him. If you haven't heard Day of Fire, listen to their music, because he wrote. Him and Brian wrote 4 songs or something off their 3rd record.
Oh wow.
Josh, man, he's a great singer as well, but he's in a couple different bands. But that'll be a nice reminiscent story for you guys way back.
Oh man, I will definitely ask him about it. I'll definitely ask him about Day of Fire.
Day of Fire. Yep. It's from Nashville. I think actually Josh Brown seen you guys last summer, Brian told me, and I was surprised because Josh he's very low, like low key as far as like off the radar.
Sweet. Yeah. No, I would definitely ask him about it, and just be on the lookout. There's some more content coming soon. And we're so happy that everyone's really loving World on Fire. Like, we're excited and we're thankful about that. So keep listening, keep tagging us in it, keep the word out, man. And we hope to keep this journey going. Keep this journey going.
Definitely, man. I'm looking forward to the next record here.
Awesome. Yeah, it's coming soon, hopefully.
All right. Well, I'll hit you up. Let you know when I got the new music going on. We got Brandon Maclin here. Drummer. Virginia is the song that we worked on. It's on Bring On the Fear right now. His new song, World on Fire, going on. Everything's on fire right now. And I appreciate so much being on here. We'll come back and we'll chat here. And, off the scenes, I'll shoot you some messages and let you know what's up. But I do hope next year sometime, I'll be able to see you guys somehow live,
Yeah, let's make it happen, bro. Let's do it.
Sounds good. See you guys. Thanks for tuning in very much. Thursday, 6 o'clock, we got another one. We got a guy. It's been American Idol month like crazy, so we got another one on here.
All right, man. Be safe, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
You too. Have a good night. See you guys. Thank you very much. Rock on.